Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, my name is Damali. I'm the counselor, founder of Forerunner Counseling, located in Montclair, New Jersey. I've been doing this for over 16 years. And if this is your first time coming here, thank you for watching this video. I hope you like it and you can subscribe to my channel. I've been working with individuals and couples for a period of time now, over 16 years, like I said. And I think one of the greatest uh, joys that I have is to have the ability to even if it's just one word that can encourage someone to go into their next season in life. It is an honor and it's a privilege, and I don't take it lightly. So today I just want to talk to you about the uncertainty of life. I think sometimes we are conditioned, or we are told, or we are made to believe that if we do everything right in life, then our lives will be better. In other words, go to school, be a good person, pay your taxes, go to church, and everything will be fine. And so as we grow, we realize that that's not always the case. Like, you get sick, people die, you lose jobs, you lose relationships, things don't always go the way you thought it would go. And because a lot of times we are not prepared for those uncertainties, a lot of people get stuck in them and they don't know how to process to move past those areas. Some people get stuck in grief, like when you lose loved ones. They don't know how to process death or the loss of any the things that they've gone through. And I know every loss is very different, but losing something or someone that you love is not a walk in the park. And if you don't know how to process grief, sometimes you can actually get stuck. And so one of the things that I do in my practice is to help people process grief, or to process loss and process re-engaging into life without feeling stuck. But going back into that subject about dealing with life's uncertainties, where you went to school and it's so hard to get the job, you try to be the best version of yourself in relationship and you still get betrayed, you're kind and people treat you just badly, and you don't understand why that is the case. I mean, there is no right and wrong answer in a way, because everyone's journey is completely very different. Our schools, our experiences, our backgrounds, our temperamental differences contribute to so many things, but ultimately also we are not God. Sometimes I think as human beings, we want to figure out what's going to happen tomorrow, what's going to happen to our future. We all want to have the assurance that our future is going to be okay, so that we can have that security and we can rest. And that fear of the unknown, the fear of the future, has made a lot of us go into situations because of that fear that can be very difficult to get out of. For example, you know that you're working at a job and they're not necessarily treating you the best, but because you fear what will happen to you if you don't have that job, you condone the mistreatments because you're afraid to step out in faith to do what you know you deserve, because you want to have the security of the known. And how many people get stuck in the known because they're afraid to take risks? Someone has actually a quote that says that the things that we find more meaningful in our lives are the things that took us so much courage and so much risk to attain. So you value so much the job that you may have if you knew that you took a risk to get to quit the other job and actually apply for a new one, or you quit your job with the intention that you're going to start your own business, right? It took a lot of courage because you didn't know what's going to happen. You didn't have the certainty of the future, and you still took the risk. You got married not knowing if things are going to work out. You took that massive courage, and you should be proud of yourselves of the things that you have taken in life, because the lie that we have, or we have believed to the most part, a lot of people, is that it shouldn't be hard, it shouldn't be difficult. So when they experience life's challenges, they are thinking like, why is this happening to me? Like, I didn't sign up for this. No one signed up for suffering. No one signed up to go through hell. But well, it happens. So how do you bounce back? So you have to know Actually, there is a scripture that says that in the days of prosperity, be joyful, right? And in the days of adversity, consider that God has designed one to be alongside the other, that a man will never know what's going to happen to him. I think it's in Ecclesiastes chapter 7. And if you don't embrace life in all its seasons, you're going to always assume that it is always supposed to be sunny. Even here, let's say in the States, we have 4 seasons. We have the winters, the fall, the summer, the spring. And it's kind of looking at life through the lens of it's always supposed to be summer, so that when the winters come, we are consistently shocked, like, why is this happening? That's how life is, right? Even if you don't have the 4 seasons, then you have 2 seasons, like the rainy and the sunny seasons. It's always being surprised when it's raining, that why is it raining? It's part of the cycle of the seasons, right? And so you have to learn to study your own life, to see the seasons as they come, because to be caught off guard is where we feel like we are victimized, that people are doing these things to us, people are betraying us, or people are mistreating us, and life is hard. And once you start to realize that this comes with a territory on living on this earth, you kind of start to get skills. You kind of start to become resilient. Your expectations become more manageable and more realistic, as opposed to when you're naive. I remember I had somebody who was telling me that they were nice to people thinking that people will be nice back to them. And I'm like, I mean, I understand where you're coming from, but that's more like a childish expectation, because that's how children look at people. They think everyone is nice. You have to remind them, don't talk to strangers. They may kidnap you and you may not show back, you may not come back here. The attitude of a childish mindset of expecting that everybody is nice, that's naivety. And you sometimes going through hardships in life is what makes us snap out of it and realize that, you know what, people can just be interesting. Sometimes we are, to the most part, very self-centered. We do things that are in our own interest more than we think about other people. So to get to that place where you're no longer just looking at yourself, you go through life and it humbles you. And so whatever challenges you may be experiencing today or in your season of life right now, my encouragement to you is to start to look at it from a vantage point that this is the season that I'm in. And if I don't have the skills to navigate this place, let me find those tools, because it's not going to get easier. It's not going to just pause because now this was too hard and you can't take it anymore. Right? It doesn't work like that. I tell my clients sometimes, it used to be when Queen Elizabeth was the queen in England, I would say, whether you're the Queen of England or you're the President of the United States with all that much power, or the Queen with all that much money, we all experience life's hardships. You may not have financial challenges, but you have maybe health challenges. You may not have health challenges, maybe you have relationship challenges. You may not have relationship challenges, you may have mental challenges. So the assumption that other people have it easy is not always true. We have been privileged to see people's lives, and it's very humbling, because sometimes you think that your life is challenging and you hear someone else's experience and you're like, okay, I need to be more grateful. Sometimes you see someone else's life challenges and you think it's very hard, and then you see somebody else's life is hard under the sun. And I think even if I sometimes say that maybe if I was 15 and someone told me that life comes in uncertainties like that, I could have listened. Now, that's just my experience. It doesn't mean that before 15 I wasn't suffering, but I was believing that as I got older, things will get easier, only to realize that the challenges just become different. When you're younger, your hardships are more relational, your friends don't like you and things like that. As you get older, now you have to look for a job, or you have to have maintaining healthy relationships and things like that. So it's very different for every season in life. And when you find people who are older in their, like, let's say 70s and 60s or 80s, and they're still complaining why life should be hard, you're thinking you've been around the sun long enough to know that this counts with the territory. It's kind of like you didn't do your work, and you need to do something about your mindset, about your interpretation of life, because our perception sometimes can get us stuck. We think that this thing should not happen to us. In other words, it should happen to other people, like it shouldn't happen to us. No, whatever happens, my encouragement to you is to always like to start to pause and ask, okay, if this is what is happening in my life, what can I learn from this? What do I need to go through this? How can I prepare in the future if this happens again? Because that's life. You buckle up and embrace it in its ups and downs. And sometimes the fear of the future is what makes us get stuck in unhealthy spaces because we don't want to risk stepping out. We just want to still stay in this false comfort of, at least I know this, right? As opposed to, let me go to somewhere healthier than this. So again, thank you so much for watching. And you could go to my website. You can subscribe to my newsletter, and you can subscribe to this channel here, and I'll see you soon. My website again is www.forerunnercounseling.com. I do have many services. Actually, I have a course program about finding meaning and purpose in life for people who feel stuck and they don't know how to get unstuck from where they are to move past where they are. I think that's a very good program for you to be a part of. If you're interested, go to my website under events and you'll see Path to Purpose. So thank you again for watching.